Paragraph 627. So Mary has been masculinized. Okay, she's been made perfect, not whole, and this is injurious to the feminine principle of imperfection and completeness. As I said, I don't like this characterization of it by Jung, but let's keep in mind that Jung was living at the end of the 19th century, so we make allowances for him a little bit.
Do you have a problem with the principle or with the way he applies the principle?
I don't like the term perfection and imperfection when referring to masculine and feminine. I think that, okay, that's a duality, but that's not a very appropriate duality anymore, right?
One of them certainly carries a lot more baggage than the other.
Well, that's right.
That's the ongoing fight, though, isn't it? One partner's perfect, and the other one's imperfect, and they're always trying to bring each other to the, their other side. Bless you.
Excuse me. Well,
I don't
they're
think
different. They bring different things to the party, right?
Why do you say there's a bias there, though? I mean, what basis do you have for that?
Imperfection.
Well, let me ask Des. Des, how do you feel about the fact that Dr. Jung is saying that you are more feminine than masculine and therefore imperfect?
When you put it like
But she's
that.
more whole.
It almost sounds Freudian.
I mean,
You're missing your penis.
no.
Exactly.
You got penis envy.
But Des is more whole.
Where's that
than Leo.
psychologist?
That's what he's saying also. I mean, there's a...
Yeah, but I mean, it's not quite the same saying that
Yeah,
you're...
if it's couched like that, it's one thing, but it depends on how.
If it's
the
wholeness-
meaning, 'cause we know he has layers to his meaning, so I don't take
Right.
offense, but
Yeah, but
if he was saying you're a lesser being, then, and I don't get that from here.
Well,
but-
no, but the problem, I think, is not you who've been coming to this group for the last year and therefore familiar with Jung and the way he talks about things and dualities. But I do worry about folks out here
Gotcha.
who think that, I'm sorry, but it's not true. Women are not imperfect.
But question, because he doesn't say that men have attained perfection.
No, he doesn't. And later on, and we said it last week or a couple weeks ago, the paragon of the universe is not a man, it's a monster. Okay, and so he was referring to Yahweh, okay, and Yahweh was a monster. For 71 verses, he beats up on Job, right? Now, if he had used his omniscience, he could have known that Job was not going to give up on him. He did know it, should have known it. And, why did he let Satan whip up on Job anyway? Okay, that was pretty imperfect. Right? And that's the point. Sophia, with her wisdom, balances Yahweh. This patriarchal paragon who's an amoral force of nature monster.
That's why I'm saying you're sort of unknitting his whole thesis in this book when you make that claim that it's an outmoded idea.
It's not an
It's not a universal idea.
It's not an outmoded or ununiversal idea. I'm saying that the idea that he's presenting is that there's masculine and feminine in the universe. That's great, okay? Yahweh and Sophia were there at the beginning. That's what it says in the Psalms, okay? And when Christ comes along, he's saying that Mary represents this feminine aspect of the Hieros Gamos, which is the combination of masculine and feminine in the universe. My only objection is the use of the terms perfect and imperfect. Okay.
Well, question though, because didn't he consider that an extreme as well? So not necessarily perfect equals good. It was an extreme.
It was this extreme patriarchy, right? So
Did you use the word imperfect, though? I don't think you did.
he did use it.
You did?
Yeah.
In the translation.
in the translation he
We
did.
need the German.
I mean, I don't have the German, and I wouldn't be able to read it. But anyway, let me just read this little bit of this paragraph 627. Thus, the more feminine ideal is bent in the direction of the masculine. In other words, she's perfectionized because of her virginity, etc. Okay, and no original sin. So the feminine ideal is bent in the direction of the masculine. The more the woman loses her power to compensate the masculine string for perfection, and typically masculine ideal state arises, which, as we shall see, is threatened with an enantiodromia. Okay, now I marked this in red. No path leads beyond perfection into the future. Okay, so you can't have a world that's totally masculine and have a future. Okay, because without the feminine, we got no babies.
Also, with perfection, there's nowhere to go.
Right.
There's nowhere to go. Okay. There is only a turning back, a collapse of the ideal, which could easily have been avoided by paying attention to the feminine ideal of completeness. Yahweh's perfectionism is carried over from the Old Testament into the New, and despite all of the recognition and glorification of the feminine principle, this never prevailed against the patriarchal supremacy. We have not, therefore, by any means heard the last of it. Okay, so his point is that there's an enantiodromia, and the feminine side is going to push back, and that's what we've been having for the last 150 years since Susan B. Anthony started her crusade. In other words, huh?
And until Trump got here.
Yeah, but Trump is the light bringer. Okay, I won't.
Satan? You said earlier Satan was a light bringer.
Yeah, I mean, okay. I want to be careful here.
Okay.
Trump is making us see that there are things in the psyche of the United States that we need to pay attention to and fix somehow.